Yesterday, I booked 24 qualified sales calls for my coaching business at $54 a call. My name's James, and if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you're a high-ticket coach, you're an offer owner who's looking to scale your coaching business, and that's exactly what we talk about here on this channel. And the reason why you should actually give a shit is because I actually run my very own coaching business and practice what I preach. We do around $250,000 a month in cash collected. Every single thing that I teach here on this channel is not coming from some mastermind and regurgitate, but this is actually what I do. Meaning that you can take the lessons of what I do that's actively working for me, apply it to your coaching business, scale further, scale faster, make a bunch more money, and change a bunch more lives. Now, right now in my coaching business, we're in the process of scaling our sales team, which means that we need to increase the volume of calls we're getting at the same time. Our delivery is dialed in, our marketing is dialed in, but getting our team to a point where all of my new sales reps are coming in and they have a packed calendar, that's really my main prerogative right now. And so over the last few weeks, I've been really focused on how can I ensure that I'm getting more calls on the calendar every single day without going out there and spending a stupid amount more on ads every single day without being clever about it. Because look, in the past, what I've done is I've just spent a fuck ton more money on ads for no reason. And what happened is my cost per call just went up astronomically. And look, I was getting more calls and we were still profitable, but it meant that we weren't as profitable as I wanted to be. And so I wanted to make sure that as we really pushed this time, I wanted to ensure that we were being smart about it. And instead of trying to just absolutely increase spend, of course, which we're doing, I wanted to also make sure that we're focusing on bringing the cost per call down, not just accepting where we are and then watching it inflate as we scale. And if you're an offer owner, you probably know what I'm talking about. You've probably been there as well. So I kind of went back to the drawing board and I looked at what we were doing and I tried to figure out a way to increase the amount of throughput I could have to get more calls in the calendar without needing to just astronomically increase spend. And here's what I came up with, and it's actually become one of the most effective and profitable ways to book calls that I've ever seen. For context, we went from booking around 5 to 6 calls a day to 15 to 20 to 25 calls a day, depending on the day, and it is absolutely incredible. So here's what we did. Previously, we would have a VSL or would have a DM funnel, and people would either book a call from an ad to the calendar, or we would have people DM, hey, this keyword, and I want to get started. We book them on the call for the calendar. Mainly to state, if you want my help, here's what we can do, and we're booking a call. There was no freebie, there was no lead magnet. It was just, do you want my help? Cool, reach out, and we'll go from there. Same with the VSL. Here's my offer. If you want my help, book a call. And that stuff works really, really well. But as the market gets more aware and more sophisticated, you will see that your costs start to go up because when you see somebody say, hey, book a call, or hey, DM me this word, they know they're about to go into a sales process. So you kind of need to work around that a little bit. And so my thought process was, well, if I know that it's going to cost me X, Y, Z to get a lead when I'm just talking about the offer, if I go for a lead magnet approach, well, because it's free and there's benefit there and it's something that they want, I'll probably get more people reaching out, which will bring my lead cost down. So that's where I started. And so what I did was I put together a lead magnet. The lead magnet was something I created ads for, and I started running the ads saying, hey, if you want this lead magnet, go ahead, put your name in, put your phone number in, or send me a DM. Standard lead magnet funnel. You've probably already run one before. Run the ad, here's your freebie, take it, and then you do all the selling on the back end. Now here's what we do that's quite unique. Is firstly, they obviously get the lead magnet, and then we have our team reach out. They reach out by phone or they reach out via email. And the most important thing is making sure the lead magnet is something people actually want. There's so many people running around with lead magnets, I'm like, I don't know who would want that. And I can guarantee you that cost per lead is crazy. If you don't have a good lead magnet that your market actively wants, well, then they're not gonna wanna opt in, which means your lead cost will be high, your cost per call will be high, and kind of screwed. So the first thing is making sure you have a good lead magnet. If your cost per lead isn't where it needs to be, test 3, test 5, test 10 different lead magnets, create a bunch of different ads, film them, put them into a campaign, just see what performs. Because if you can't get cheap leads for the lead magnet, you're not gonna be able to get cheap calls. But once we've got a lead magnet that's performing and getting us good leads, we're currently getting around $4 to $5 per lead. From there, the team reaches out by phone, and obviously phone sets them, or they DM and then we continue to DM with them. But the thing that really made this work was the way that we approached the conversation of actually booking the call. Previously, you would go through, hey, do you get lead magnet? I think you'll love it. Let me know what you think, blah, blah, blah. And then you try to like, oh, by the way, we have this program. And that's what a lot of people do wrong. It feels like this thing where you put all this focus and this benefit around this lead magnet, and then you're just trying to cram a sale in at the same time, which usually doesn't work. What we do is we give them access to lead magnet immediately, but then we almost act like the lead magnet didn't exist in the first place. And so for example, let's say somebody messages us, well, I want this lead magnet, boom, here's the lead magnet. And then what we'll do, whether it is by message or whether it's by phone, we go, hey, and by the way, before you go through that, just out of curiosity, can I ask you a couple of questions just to make sure we can help you and maybe even give you some steps in the right direction to getting your insert whatever goal it is you provide with your program? And they go, yeah, sure, 100%, ask me any questions you like. Because I'm framing it as, before you go through that, can I ask you a couple of questions to make sure we can help and push you in the right direction? That's benefit rich, but that's subtle before you go through it, means they kind of just forget about it, which is really, really funny. And so from there, we go through a normal setting process. Cool, what's got you reaching out? What's your goal? Where are you at right now? What have you tried in the past? All the stuff that I'm sure you know. We're not here to teach beginner stuff here on this channel. You know how to do a basic setup call. But the first shift is, before you go through it, can I ask you a couple of questions? So we remove the focus from the lead magnet. The next thing is the way that we pitch the call. And this one shift in the way that I was pitching the call, like astronomically increased the yes rate, the take rate on this call. Instead of doing the usual, hey, so we should book this call and we do this. Does that sound like a plan? And almost asking for permission, like, do you want to do this call? Which is what is in every mastermind, in every script, you and I both know it. Instead, I framed it as this. Great, I definitely think I can help you. I've got some time later today and tomorrow. What time works best for you to actually go through a game plan? Later this afternoon, later tonight, or tomorrow morning? And so it's more of an assumptive close where I'm basically saying, hey, I know I can help you. I've got this time. Which works better for you? Morning, afternoon, or evening? Let's get something on the calendar. I'm not asking for the yes. I'm not asking for, do you think this would be helpful? I'm not asking, hey, would you like to go through the lead magnet first and then book a call? Do you want to book a call? I just go, cool, we're going to do a call. When works? And then what happens is the take rate is absolutely obscene. People go, yeah, I've got time like tonight. Yeah, tonight works really well. Because I'm so casual about it. And I go, yeah, cool, let's get you booked in, boom, done. And then for the 10% that go, I want to go through the lead magnet first. You basically just go, yeah, 100%. I'm going to make sure that you go through that lead magnet before the call. And look, even if you haven't finished the entire thing, I'll make sure to give you a bit of a brief note summary at the beginning of our call so you understand the basics. Because then what I want to do is I want to apply what's in that and really give you the game plan you need to actually achieve it, because it's not information that changes your life. It doesn't matter if you read every single thing that I've ever written. It's really making sure you have the right plan to get there. And they go, yeah, that sounds great, beautiful. So what time works best for you? Morning, afternoon, evening, or even tomorrow morning? And then you get them booked in. And while you're watching this, before I get into more of the nitty-gritty things around this stuff, if you're a coaching business owner, you're an offer owner, and you're looking to scale to 100 grand a month, 200 grand a month, or beyond with your coaching business, and you don't want to join just another mastermind where it's a bunch of regurgitated shit you've learned 6 times in other programs, but you want to learn and work one-on-one with somebody who's actively doing this stuff in the trenches and knows what works, who knows what's actually happening in the industry. I run a program called the Scale Boardroom. And in the Scale Boardroom, it's me and you working together one-on-one intensely to scale your coaching business to 100 grand a month, 200 grand a month, or beyond. Or if you're already crushing it, just add an extra 100 grand a month to what it is you're already doing. Whether it's your offer, whether it's getting clients, retaining clients, upselling clients, LTV of clients, anything along those lines, sales teams, ads, funnels, anything that is remotely related to running a coaching business are all things that I actively do every single day in mine, which means that if you're focused on growing, I can definitely help. And we've got people in the boardroom doing anywhere from 20 to 30 grand a month to over 500 grand a month, and we're all absolutely having a blast. So if you want to find out more about how I can help you, there's a link in the description below to book in a time one-on-one with me, not a sales rep, not some guy that I got from some sales training program is now peddling my stuff. No, it's me and you one-on-one. I'll go through your funnel, give you a full audit on your coaching business, what's working, what's not, and then if I can help you inside a Scale Boardroom, I'll happily run you through how it all works. And even if I can't, or you're sort of earlier in your journey, or there's a certain thing that I can't really help with, I'm still happy to give you all the guidance that you need to go out there and at least get some steps in the right direction. So if that sounds like a plan, book a call, let's have a chat. I'm sure I can help, but for now, let's get back to the video. So let's recap where we are. In terms of actually getting way more calls on the calendar without spending a bunch more on ad spend and really making sure that we're super profitable. What have we learned? Well, firstly, instead of just trying to shove your offer down people's throats running offer ads, offer VSLs, which do work well, the cost is really, really high. Instead, we run ads to a lead magnet that we know that people actually want. As a result, we get cheap leads. What do we do with the cheap leads? Well, we then make them forget about the lead magnet and focus on their goals, focus on why they're doing it. Not because we're being nasty, but because at the end of the day, how many lead magnets have people opted in for because they have a goal, but then they never actually get close to their goal because they're too busy opting in for lead magnets? Lead magnets don't help anyone. We go through the normal setup process, and instead of pitching a call, we just assume the call is already happening. I can 100% help. When works for you? I've got time later today, later tonight, or tomorrow. What works best for you? And then pushing through for the booking. It's chill. It's casual, it's laissez-faire, but it works. And even if worst case scenario, they push to go out there and get the lead magnet done first, we reframe it as, yep, 100%, we're gonna make sure you go through it beforehand anyway. And worst case, we're gonna go through and give you the cliff notes on the call so we can actually go into the game plan, because the game plan is really the thing that will get you there, not reading some ebook that I wrote. And you know what I love about this whole process? Is not only does this work so well at getting so many calls booked in day out, but also there's so many angles we can hit this lead from and turn them into a booking and a client. For example, when somebody opts in, we've got their phone numbers, we can go ahead and set them, we can message them. Number 2, we've got their email, so they go into our email list. Number 3, there's a very good chance they've DM'd us, so they're in our Instagram ecosystem as well. And while we're going through that, calling them or messaging them, there's also all the emails that go out that link them to our YouTube channel, maybe link them to our webinar down the line. If there's a 30-day sort of automated email sequence, maybe if they haven't gone ahead and booked a call by then, maybe you lead them to your YouTube channel or to a different VSL or to your webinar, whatever it may be. But we take this $4 or $5 lead and turn it into somebody that either books a call, becomes a client, or somebody who gets warmed up and nurtured into your ecosystem until they're ready to go ahead and pull the trigger. But that's it. That's how we're booking between 15 to 25 qualified calls every single day. It's how we booked 24 calls yesterday at $54 a call. And if you're a coach looking to scale and get more bookings, more sales, more clients, make more money, and change more lives, this is a strategy that I think will serve you very well. And if you want to get my one-on-one help to actually grow your coaching business further and faster, well, you know where to go. Links in the description. Let's have a chat. I'd love to see how I can help. But for now, any questions, drop them in the comments. I'm happy to help, and I'll see you in the next one.